Aries. Aries symbol. With today's Mercury-Uranus square, there can be some wild cards to manage, dear Aries. These may be fun and exciting or disruptive, depending on the situation and your perspective. Watch for a tendency to worry or plan poorly due to nerves. Speaking too quickly on a matter can be a problem when you're tense. You tend to go your own way with your ideas and plans these days, and while it may cause some waves, working with your creative muse and answering to your intuition serves you well. However, today's energies tend to draw you away from your natural instincts. The moon spends the day in your communications sector, adding to the busy theme. Taurus. Taurus symbol. The moon spends the day in your resources sector, dear Taurus, and you want to settle in, content with something familiar and predictable. However, today's Mercury-Uranus aspect can point to some temporary disconnects or a nervous disposition. There may be household tension and restlessness as family affairs, or the need to stick around the home, can clash with personal plans and your sense of independence. Alternatively, part of you wants to stick with the familiar, while another part seeks to branch out and pioneer something new. Indecision can be the result. Once you've challenged yourself, you can take stock of what's working in your life and talk through problems with others. Try not to overthink things, which is a strong tendency now. Creative solutions to problems are yours for the taking if you step back from a matter and let your intuition work its magic. Gemini. Gemini symbol. The moon spends the day in your sign, dear Gemini, and emotions are more colorful. Today's Mercury-Uranus transit can be a little disorienting as it shakes up schedules and thought processes. Still, it can lead to interesting detours. There can be many ideas, but little organization, and tension can result from trying too hard to make order out of chaos. Watch for speaking too soon about a matter and seek ways to center or ground yourself for best results now. Of course, you may choose to let it happen and go with the flow or hold back if you're not in the mood to take a mental risk. Cancer. Cancer symbol. You might aim to take things easy today, dear Cancer, with the moon in the sign behind yours all day. This time of the lunar month is good for winding down. Even so, today's Mercury-Uranus square can be a bit disorienting. You could find that you're clashing with a friend about an idea or core value before you get to a greater understanding of one another. Impulsiveness with your money is possible now, and this may not sit well in a relationship. Watch for overshooting and communications that you fire off without thinking. Avoid doing things so quickly that you end up missing the mark. It may be best to look for the moments of inspiration and pay attention to them while focusing on keeping yourself grounded. Ideally, if this transit stirs things up, it leads to exciting ideas. Leo. Today's Mercury-Uranus transit can point to unexpected reactions to your communications, dear Leo. There can be interruptions, nervous tension, or a change to your schedule to manage. These may be disruptive, but working with the energy can help you enjoy the element of surprise. If you're impatient with current topics, look for a new subject that interests you rather than stirring up trouble. Conflicts or confrontations can undoubtedly lead to positive things, but nervous energy may only add stress to your plate. The moon in a compatible sign all day helps keep your spirits high. Virgo. With today's Mercury-Uranus square, something communicated can stir up tension, dear Virgo, including defensiveness. Before it spirals out of control, consider whether or not it's better to merely correct errors or ignore them and move on. It's a day when sharp words and moves can result from impatience or misunderstandings. You may also be dealing with unexpected results or disrupted plans. Something can take you off guard. However, a random or sudden event or realization may very well stimulate a new plan, insight, or perspective. Even if something interrupts the flow, you might learn a bit about your priorities. Libra. Today's Mercury-Uranus square can put pressure on you in spots, dear Libra, particularly on a mental level. Nervous energy can run high. While you may want to break away from conventional methods, you might stir up unnecessary tension if you do so too abruptly. Keep in mind that, with this transit, restlessness can lead to words or moves you want to take back. There might be ways to go your own way that cause less of a stir. Try not to think too far ahead, and aim for one step at a time if you're feeling overwhelmed by choices. The moon spends the day in your spirit sector, helping to boost your mood despite minor disruptions and a bit of indecision. Scorpio. With today's Mercury-Uranus square, the pace can be a little too quick at times, dear Scorpio, and you might feel out of step with the rest of the world temporarily. Flexibility is your best strategy today, allowing for the unexpected can help reduce the tension. Disagreements can be irritating, but they may get you thinking in new ways. Advice coming in may not seem useful, but you don't have to agree with it to learn something from it. It might jumpstart your own genius thinking on a matter. People seem more likely to be living in their heads than their hearts today. Nevertheless, it's a fine time to generate ideas and discover ways to boost your projects. Sagittarius. The day can stir up new ways of thinking, dear Sagittarius, but it's not the best time for easy decisions. A Mercury-Uranus transit requires flexibility. You might need to adapt to a quicker pace or surprise elements and disorganization. If you resist and dig in your heels, then it can be tense. It may not be easy to get a word, or thought, in edgewise, but once past this, you might arrive at a new perspective on a project or interest. It can be an exciting time if you enjoy throwing ideas into a ring without committing to them. Still, it's best not to expect anything to be just so today and that the details of a plan may not fall into place just yet. Capricorn. A Mercury-Uranus conflict today could produce some clashes of opinion or tension, dear Capricorn, especially related to upturned schedules or unreliability. Others may be hanging on too tightly to their opinions, ideas, or methods, and it becomes a little too easy to disagree. Sharp words can emerge from impatience. Certainly, useful ideas can result from all of this, or detours from the routine can inspire a new line of thinking that works in your favor. However, it's not an ideal time for others to listen well. The moon spends the day in your solar sixth house of work, routine, and health. Work and chores may even feel therapeutic. Aquarius. Today's Mercury-Uranus square can bring an unexpected piece of news or result, dear Aquarius, or it can stimulate a change of mind or schedule. Disorganized instructions or unnecessary distractions can frustrate you in spots. You might aim to enjoy the randomness of this energy rather than worrying too much about how things will resolve. The moon in your sector of joy all day helps you see things through a fun lens. You may be looking for a little more mental stimulation or excitement than usual. While you may get more than you bargained for in this way, aiming to avoid extremes or abrupt moves can help smooth things out. Pisces. The moon spends the day in your solar fourth house, encouraging some rest, quiet, and familiarity, dear Pisces. However, today's Mercury-Uranus square can produce mental stimulation that is sometimes a little too much. Watch that nervous energy doesn't drag you down. If you can tune into this transit's somewhat random, eccentric theme and enjoy the surprise elements, you'll be in good shape. Avoid overthinking things for best results now. If you feel torn between attention to your chores and your social life or larger goals, aim to find ways to combine these things or cut back on both so that you don't overdo either one.